Hey friends, what's up? Welcome back to Coffee Time with Alice. I hope you all are doing really good out there. So this week, I want to talk about my favorite OG Wonder Years episode, Coda. Coda is an episode about Kevin taking piano lessons. It's a very simple story, but I found the message to be pretty profound. It follows Kevin as he goes to take piano lessons from Mrs. Carples, and he's very clumsy. You know, he doesn't really acknowledge himself as ever being good at piano or anything. He doesn't practice. He doesn't really take it that serious, but he keeps going for some reason. Meantime, there's another student by the name of Ronald Hirschmiller who practices all the time. You know, his mother talks about him to all the other mothers. He plays everything perfectly. You know, he's the perfect student. And that's actually a big reason why Kevin doesn't take his music serious. You know, he doesn't think he's ever going to be as good as Ronald. So, it gets to the point, he tells Mrs. Carples that he's ready to quit piano, that no matter how much he practices, Ronald will always be better than him. And, she calls him out. She's like, no, Ronald's good because he practices all the time. He approaches music like a machine. You, Kevin, you have an actual feel for music, and you know it. She then has him sit down and play canon in D major, which reignites his passion for music, reminding him that music, it's not about who's better or who's worse. Music's not about competition. So he does finally buckle down. He starts practicing all the time and gets very good at playing the song. And, Mrs. Carples has him playing the recital, leading to the dress rehearsal where he finds out that Ronald is also playing canon in D major, which sends him spiraling mentally. Ronald gets up first, he plays it perfectly. Kevin gets up and he's still thinking, okay, well, can I play better than Ronald though? Still, you hear the narration talking about his thoughts, and he messes up. He chokes. And Mrs. Carples tries to give him one last pep talk. Be like, look, you choked, but you'll do better tomorrow at the recital. Only he doesn't make it to the recital, he quits. This leads to the final scene where he's sitting outside of her house watching the recital, watching and listening to Ronald play canon in D major, and the closing narration talking about how he remembers every note that wafted out into the night air, but he doesn't know how to play the song anymore. It's important to remember that we can't let competition eclipse why we're doing what we're doing. That was my problem in the 2010s. I'm not going to go deep into that. I've already talked about that in season 1, about music not owing you anything. But yeah, I compared myself to her. There was a lot of Ronald Hirschmillers that I compared myself to, and ultimately, let me leave music for a few years. And I still deal with a few Ronald Hirschmillers now, but now I have a better mentality towards it. Now I view Ronald Hirschmiller as a challenger, as a lesson, as a milestone. I see somebody doing something better than me that I'm like, shit, I want to be able to do that. I bust my ass till a point I can do that, but my way. I let it be gas. That's the important thing to remember. And to be clear, I'm sure this doesn't need to be said, but it doesn't apply just to music. It also applies to art, it applies to sports, it applies to everyday life. Like, whatever it is you're pursuing, whatever your passion is, whether it's an art or a vocation or a sport, helping others, whatever. Remember why you are there. Are you there to beat Ronald Hirschmiller, or are you there because you want to be there? And when it comes to competition, the only competition that matters is your competition with yourself, with the you of yesterday. That's who you should compete with. So yeah. If you've not seen that episode, I recommend watching it. It's really good. Wonder Years is a fantastic show. The reboot is also a fantastic show. I highly recommend checking that out, and I will talk about an episode or two from that one down the line. But yeah, be the best you in what you love doing, and don't let anyone stop you. Love you all, and I'll see you next week.
There. That's what it's about.